Welcome to Marriage Monday with Jeremiah and Savannah Jennings. The Jennings own Growing Green Landscapes and are very happily married. In this podcast, Jeremiah and Savannah discuss the wins, losses, good times, bad times, and everything in between pertaining to owning a business while maintaining a healthy marriage along the way. We hope you enjoy the show.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green Podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings. Joined with us today for another Marriage Monday is our beautiful co-host, Savannah, with a fresh haircut.
Yeah, chopped it off today.
What was your reasoning behind that?
Well, it's kind of the mom cut, but I didn't know that until we had a baby. So Jack kept pulling it and yanking it and spit up and all the fun things that went with long hair. So it's time to go. But
Yep. Well, it looks like our guests are nodding their heads along, agreeing with everything that was just said there. So, Joey and Kylie Sapone are joining us tonight. How are y'all doing this evening?
Pretty good.
Pretty good ourselves.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Doing good. Just late night recording like we always do here. I feel like we always got
at least Marriage Mondays.
Yeah, that's right.
Being late night.
Yeah, just get in where you fit in, I guess, is kind of the saying here. But
yeah.
Everything's gone good. It's middle of December. I guess beginning to mid December.
It still blows my mind that it's December because I'm like hanging out in a tank top and you're in shorts today.
Yeah.
Alabama weather has been nuts this week. It was literally
It was like 75
today.
We had to turn the air on a little bit ago because it was so hot in the house.
Welcome to Alabama.
Yeah.
Freezing.
Yeah. So yeah. Welcome to the South. But the crazy thing is, in 2 days it'll be 30 degrees. So,
yeah.
It has a mind of its own. But anyway, thank y'all for joining us tonight. This is going to be a really fun interview. We actually was the first time we met at Together in Trades this year. I know we've hung out. Yeah, I know I've followed you on social for a while, but it's fun getting to meet there. Maybe talk about that a little bit, y'all's experience there. But tell us a little about yourselves, about the business, what you got going on. I know, Kylie, you have a career outside of the business, so we can get into that as well. That's always a topic that is interesting. People like to hear about people that own businesses, but then the spouse works outside of the business. And you have a child as well, so your parents. You have all the topics to talk about tonight. So we're going to let this be your show. We're going to let you take it and run with it. But like I said, just give us a little intro, a walk through your business story, y'all's life story, I guess, short version of your life together, and then just how you kind of got into business today.
All right. Yeah. So like you said, my name's Joey Sapone. My wife, Kylie. We're the owners of Priority Care Lawn and Landscape. So I work a full-time job and run this business as well. My wife has a full-time job, and we're both parents, like you said.
You work a full-time job outside of the business?
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
I work a straight job, yeah.
I did not know that. Wow. Okay, so you are in this thing thick then.
Yeah.
Wow.
The scheduling part is a nightmare. Let's put it that way.
It's go as you can, and it drives me bonkers because my job is already like that.
Yeah.
I work for the American Red Cross, and I'm a collection supervisor, so I don't really have set hours. I'm there as early as I can get there, and I stay pretty late. I try not to, but with a toddler, you kind of just have to go with the flow and do what you can when you can.
Yeah. There's no set schedules for sure.
Yeah.
And if you have a game plan, you might as well have a backup plan to that backup plan because
the original game plan never goes as planned.
Yeah.
That is one thing that I've learned. Well, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Continue there. I don't know how I didn't know that. I didn't know you had a full-time job with the business as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, my full-time job's a lead supervisor at a RV manufacturer.
Oh, cool.
So we build custom RVs, and then outside of that, come home, be a parent, and run the business. I'm sorry, I'm going to sound like I'm rambling on just a little bit.
No, you're good. No, you're good, man. It's interesting to hear the stories and the different the different aspects of life that everyone goes through, the different journeys, being full-time and working a full-time job and then owning a business at the same time as well is something that I've always admired because I just haven't done that. I don't know. I've never actually worked a job outside of this business. So I'm blessed in that, but I always look up to guys like you because the drive that you have to go work a full-time job and then come home at the end of the day and then go out at night or whenever you get in your mow and all your landscape business stuff. I've always admired guys like that because I'm like, I don't know if I could. I mean, like I said, I've been blessed to not have to work another job, but at the same time, I don't know if I have that drive in me, and I would figure it out. But at the same time, it's like kudos to you, hats off to you, that you're able to do that. But needless to say, that has to throw some things into your marriage. That has to throw some kinks in there at some points. Like you said, there is no schedule that you can keep with that. That's a lot of running, a lot of different ends going a lot of different directions. It sounds like. So, what does that look like between y'all? What is the business at? How long have y'all been in business as a whole?
So technically, this will be the end of our first year.
Okay.
I started that 2 years ago just as a side thing to have some more money for us, this and that.
He also enjoyed it. He liked to do it on the side. And then he was like taking on more yards slowly. And then he decided one day he wanted to have a business, but didn't tell me that. So that caused huge conflict. It was a rough year. I won't lie. It was a very rough year. But he's not a very open person. He doesn't like to talk about his feelings or talk about his thoughts. He just wants to do it. And sometimes I think he forgets that he has like a whole family. So slowly but surely worked through hey, please just tell me what's going on. Don't tell me after the fact or expect me to understand what you want out of things.
Yeah.
So, we've sat down and we've pinpointed kind of like, I'd say like small goals. Mm-hmm. And then eventually he wants to go full time, but
that's really hard finding the time to get the boat close to the dock, as most people talk about. The amount of hours working the full-time job and then parenting on top of that, it leaves us a couple hours, about an hour and a half, 2 hours during the work week, and then the weekends, depending. Then you sacrifice family time, things like that. So that's where our communication definitely has and still needs to get better. Mm-hmm. Setting boundaries and guidelines of, hey, this is what we got to get done to achieve this goal for this month or this upcoming year. Working around schedules.
Yeah, our biggest part is no matter how we schedule, it doesn't ever go that way. Mm-hmm. And I'm a planner and he's just a doer. So I like to literally, I write 7,000 lists a day. I have Post-its on my car, dashboard. I have to know things at all times. And he is the complete opposite. He, like I said, he doesn't do well communicating his thoughts fully, I should say, to anyone. But especially when it comes
what
to
you got in your head, so everybody else should know. I mean, I know how that goes.
So everything that you're saying is everything that you're saying is 100% us, because I feel like daily I'm like, okay, what's the plan for today? Because you can't ask far in advance because that's too much. So I try at least daily. Can I be like, what time are you leaving this morning? What time do you think you'll be home? Because I plan around that, and I'm very much a planner. I like to know when we're doing this, where, whatever. And Jeremiah also is struggling / learning to communicate those things with me, because that has definitely been a source of issues with us as well. Because I'm like, you might know what you're doing and you might have this whole plan, but hello, we're over here and, that matters to me too. So yeah, I totally get that.
His biggest goal when he first started this business was he was doing it for the family. And I was like, that's super funny because we're not included in the plans or we don't know anything. We don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. So I feel like I had to rewire that part of his brain. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there.
Work in progress.
Definitely had to take a big step back. I learned the hard way that communication is very powerful and a key feature in marriage.
Yeah.
I thought, so in my mind, I was like, I'm going to do this for my family. I want to keep the stress off of her. I'm going to take it all on myself, and didn't communicate that in the beginning, thinking I could handle it all, and come to realize that wasn't the case because of her scheduling, my scheduling,
Also,
babysitters.
his stress, like he can't handle stress like women. So he needed me to help with the stress.
Definitely.
He did.
Once we started over, it definitely got 10 times easier and smoother for the most part from where it was. So patience and communication are definitely keys. Definitely took a lot of takeaways from Together in the Trades.
Yeah.
That was very helpful. We really enjoyed that a lot.
So like all the men that were like, you guys have to communicate, it really worked for us. That other men saying that, it's like their words just like light a spark in your brain. But
sometimes
when I say things, no, it's like any woman that says it, you don't understand. But we're like, oh no, it makes total sense. Yeah.
All right, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. No, I get that totally. I get that totally. That's what I was gonna say. So Together in Treasure was a big help for y'all then. It sounds like that was pretty. What was that? Halfway through the year, I guess. Halfway through your business, really. If you start, when did you start? Beginning of the year, like March, April.
Yeah, usually about the end of March.
No, it was like February.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did have that job. Yeah, so I had some February work, but the mowing and spring rush, it doesn't really start until end of March and early April.
Yeah, so maybe halfway.
The late bloomers.
Yeah, maybe halfway. That's awesome, and that's good to hear that it actually helped and made a difference. I think that it's a great thing. I think it's like a bright future ahead for the conference, and there's going to be some really fun stuff happening in the future. This is actually the second interview that we've done in a row that the spouse started the business and didn't tell the other.
Yeah,
spouse.
That's so funny
Brett
because
and Megan.
He was like, one day he was just like making this emblem, and he's like, "What do you think about this?" And I was like, "What is it for?" He's like, "Oh, well, I was kind of just thinking about, like for the business." And I'm just like, I never said anything. It took like a couple months for me to be like, this really happened under my nose. Like I had no idea.
What are you talking about? Like what business?
Like, this is like,
I got the business license. I did the DBA.
and then he just kept going.
Oh my goodness! So you like legitimized it without even telling her?
Yeah. No.
Okay. No. Brett and Megan, Star Lawn Care. He just thought of it in the bed at night. He just went and passed some business
he got
cards
some
out.
business cards made.
Yeah, he didn't actually go get the business licenses and all that stuff without telling her.
That's hysterical.
He had these shirts made, some sweatshirts, and I was like, "What are the?" He's like, "They're just prototypes." I'm like, "For what?" Like, why don't I still have to decide? Like, you haven't told me this. This is what I want to do. He's like, "This is what's done already." It was.
Wow.
It blew my mind. I literally didn't even know how to react to it. Like he didn't do that. Like it did. How did it get to this? And I never noticed it.
Wait, so did you have equipment and stuff? What did you start with?
Yeah. Well, actually,
it didn't even start off like that.
It didn't even start off that way. So whenever I was doing it part time, my father-in-law had a couple Skags.
Okay.
And I needed a new mower for our new house when we first moved in, so he allowed me to borrow it. Well, then I got the bright idea. I was like, "Hey, can I maybe mow a couple of yards with this?" And he was totally fine with it. Well, a couple of yards turned into
a couple yards
more.
Were like my best friend and one of his best friends.
Yeah.
So like, I wouldn't have thought, "Oh, it's a business."
Yeah.
Just it kind of snowballed, and then the next year I was like, I really need to buy my own mower, and it slowly went into that. I don't know how you didn't notice.
I don't know. Like I feel like it happened so fast, but it didn't. And I just didn't.
I'm definitely a person that is 0 to 100. Like, I do think about it, but it's 100%. It's all or nothing.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's a male mentality as well. I'm the same way.
Yeah, Jeremiah's
I
that way.
think I'm the same way, but I also think that, you know, being a woman, you're more considerate. You know, as a woman, not you literally, but like women are more considerate because we have a child. And I'm like, it's his first year of life, and you just like wanted to start a business. Like, why couldn't we do this when I was pregnant?
Yeah.
You know,
we did.
I think I was shell shook that it just turned into that.
Yeah, I guess we didn't mention that.
Or anything.
Our boy was 1. He wasn't even 1 when I started taking on more stuff, was he? Yeah, he was probably, I don't know, Jack's age whenever I started.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that would have been a thing in our house.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a thing.
It was rough.
Oh, it was a thing. Yeah.
I think it's funny. So you said something earlier that like kind of stuck with me, that you said that you thought it was ironic that he, you know, said, this is for the family, I'm doing this for the family, and then the family wasn't involved. And I think that's something.
He was also taking time from the family.
Yeah.
So how is this for us?
Yeah. I think that's something that I don't think we necessarily go back and forth about, but it's something I have to catch myself feeling. Like, I have said that before. I'm like, he says this is for us, but I don't feel involved in this at all. Or like, it takes time away. And I think I have to step back and remind myself that he is doing it for us. It doesn't always feel like it, but I mean, the intent is to provide for us and to, you know, be there for us more. But it just like, these first few years of business, I feel like, are so like grueling and so time investing that it doesn't feel like it right now. But I know like the end game, like at the end of the day, it really is. And so I just feel like it's funny that you said that, because I definitely feel that way and struggle with that. But also remind myself that I know he doesn't enjoy the time away from us. It's not like he's choosing that in a way to be like, I don't want to be with him. I don't want to spend time with them at night. You know, I try to have that mentality, because that is a really hard part of this that maybe people don't talk about as much. Just people saying, you do it for your family, you do it for them, family's number one. But on the flip side of that, the spouse doesn't feel that. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to be like, you're not around, you know? So I don't know. That's a good.
One of the biggest issues was that was our biggest argument, but he would also try to like tell me that my job was also interfering with family time. And I was like, but that's my actual job. This is something you started up on your own without consulting me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my hours have always been like this since we've been together. And it was like he was backlashing at me because he did something that he should have consulted me about.
Right.
Definitely should do that better.
All of it. Yeah.
You live and you learn.
Yeah, right? you live and you learn. I think the thing that needs to be said there and talked about, and it's talked about a lot, but any multimillionaire, anybody that has a family that is successful by the time they're 40, 45, 50, they will all look at you and say, yeah, I sacrificed time with my family. I did. I sacrificed time with my kids when I was young, but I did it to live this lifestyle now. And it's, you don't, those first 2, 3, 5 years in business for anyone are going to be hard. You go to talk to Nick Carlson with Mulchmate. The dude's built a 10-figure company now, but it hasn't always been easy. Like, now he's got his schedule lined out perfect. Like, he has his kids, his family time. He has a schedule down to a T with them. But it hasn't always been that way. We've had conversations about that. And the thing is you have to remember, and you need to communicate this. This is something that's very, very true, is you need to communicate along the way of, hey, I know it feels like we're taking time away from each other right now, but please let's be on the same page about that. You can't just say, oh, I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this for us. You need to make sure your spouse understands that, because if she doesn't understand that or he doesn't understand that, then there will never be any agreement. There will always be some type of one of you will be on edge with the other one. You'll be upset with the other one. You'll feel like they're trying, like I said, taken away from your family and things like that. But you just have to remember that these early years, and I know there's people listening that are going through this right now that are, because y'all are, like, we're still in these beginning stages of business, and it's a learning process. It's a time of growth, and you have to remember that you have to live like no one else lives these first 3 to 5 years to live like no one else lives in 10 or 15 or 20 years. When your kids are 8, 9, 10 years old, then you get to be home on the weekends and go to all their softball, football, baseball games because you sacrificed the time in the beginning and put in the work. And so now it's all going to be rewarded to you. So that is a topic that we could probably talk about for 2 hours, and we don't need to do it tonight because I know there's a lot more we can get into with y'all's story that I'm interested in. But that is very good. I'm glad that was something that was brought up. Well, there's definitely, y'all have made it open that there's definitely some probably some heated disagreements, heated arguments that went on, and a lot has happened in the past year for y'all, the last 12 months of getting this thing legit, established. You're still working a full-time job, though, so that means schedule's still crazy. What does the last 6, 8, 12 months looked like as far as, like, hey, we're building our future together, kind of go off what we just talked about. Like, hey, we're building our future. Is this something you think you're going to stick with long term? Are you still kind of up in the air about it? Are y'all both fully on board? And I don't want to bring up any bad blood, but
Oh no.
but at the same time, it's interesting because I love that y'all are being open and talking about it because people are really going to take away from this. I think a lot from this interview, this conversation that we're having. So, what does that look like for y'all the last 12 months of really, like, working through this stuff? So we talked about the very beginning stuff of you getting started, but what does it look like actually working through it now that it's been legit and y'all both worked full-time jobs and you've worked the business and you've raised a 1-year-old? So, I mean, what does that look like?
So we definitely have had our fair share of, should this continue? Should we, we really need to think about if this business is what we want. But like you stated, Jeremiah, you have to struggle with, family time and stuff like this with a business so that you can meet your ultimate goal. And as a working parent, you're always going to sacrifice time with your kid. But I feel like we're at an agreement that, these first couple of years, first 5 years, whatever, it's more important to lose the time then than it is the rest of our kids' life where they feel like, or he feels like we weren't around because we were working so much. So I feel like it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're both on the same page with that. It's just hard,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say the turning point would probably be after Together in the Trades. We took quite a bit out of that, learning patience, the communication between the both of us, and just being understanding of each other's schedules is really what really needs to happen.
Always understanding of it. It's the communication. Like if you were like, I'll be home at 7 and you weren't home until 9:30, there needed to be a communication. Like I'm running behind. I'll let you know when I'm close to being done or when I leave or whatever. That was hard for him to just relay that small message to me, but it also meant so much to me that he did start doing it. So, it was just considering somebody, considering us at home changed immensely after.
Yeah. And then we started talking more about what days work was actually going to be performed on, what days we're going to designate as family days. So we do Sundays. That's our family day. That may or may not change in the future because we're trying to still figure out our schedules. Thinking it might be easier to spend the family time during the week because I get home in the afternoon, but with our daycare situation, it's an hour right after I get off work. So it doesn't leave a lot of time to get physical field work done. So deciding to be a parent for Monday through Friday and kind of doing a weekend warrior mentality, I would assume, just so I focus more on landscape, so it takes more hours to do those jobs, and it's easier to do them all in one shot than split them up 5 days a week, an hour, 2 hours here and there. So, but yeah, the last 6 months have definitely gotten a lot better with communication on both parts, understanding when work will be done and so on.
Yeah.
We're just being like, I'm from my standpoint, like understanding that, you know, rain happens. You can't work outside in the rain. I mean, you can, but it doesn't go well. But, you know, understanding that there are days that, or there are times that you need to be more flexible than others because life happens or weather happens. And I think we made adjustments. Like if he wasn't able to work because of a situation like that, we kind of left a day for cushion where he would try to play catch up, and that was a lot better. I think understanding that that's not his fault, but he still has things that he has to do. It started to turn things around.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes a difference. Don't overbook yourself. That's something that is 100% true. You need to make sure that you're not doing that. You need to keep your schedule open enough for rain days, things like that. What does it look like moving forward now that we're 12 months in? Are you thinking, do you have any timeline on when you want to go completely full-time in the business? What does that look like? I see you looking at each other there. So there must be a conversation that's been had.
That was one of those Joey moments where he forgot to clue me in.
But I mentioned it.
You had already thought about the whole situation and had it planned out, and then you presented it to me.
Well, I want to think everything through before I
think it through that it's not going to work if you're not going to keep me in the loop.
Definitely.
Me and Joey sound a lot alike.
I was about to say, I mean, Jeremiah's thing, I think he tries to anticipate any counter that I would have. So he like gets the whole thing, you know, drawn out and planned out. So he feels like he can combat anything that I would. So I'm like, Jeremiah, you've already thought this whole thing through. Like, you've already done this whole thing without me. And he's like, well, yeah, essentially. And I'm like, well, it would have been nice to have been included in the conversation before I was just presented with, like, here's what we're doing. So I get that. But Jeremiah,
think about this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll end it with that. But I'm like, right. Jeremiah, you totally try to think through everything that I would say.
He wanted to plan for 2023, spring of 2023, and
a little short notice, just a little bit.
And I said, what did we say? We said something about you going part-time.
Yeah.
Not your real job. I don't mean your real job. That's not what I meant.
Full-time job. Maybe going down to part-time so I can get more hours.
Switching
out in the
roles.
field. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not ready for that. I am not ready. And I understand if we fail together, but
definitely used to structure. Security is a real fear, and going from a W-2 to self-employment. I hear it all the time, and it's a real thing. And then, so I have the entrepreneur mindset, so I don't think of it as much. So I've actually been doing this since I was probably 15, 14. So I've always been in it and had that mindset. I never really liked working for somebody else. Yeah, probably why I don't like to communicate as much. That makes a lot of sense. But so I don't have the fear as much. I'll retract that. I didn't have it as much before our son. Now that we have our son, I am definitely more cautious about decisions I make.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to jeopardize their future, our future together. I do not want to cause ripples in any of that. So like I said, getting the boat closest to the dock that I can is really key. We've discussed on talking about going full-time in the spring of 2024.
Yeah.
We're still talking about it. Yeah, we're still talking about it because there's a lot of things that we want to do before then.
Yeah.
We don't like being in debt, and we want to get some of that down as much as we can.
Yeah.
So we're not as worried about any kind of financial problems that may arise.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, that goes back to the statement I said a little bit ago. There's a couple different ways you can look at it, but the statement of if you're too afraid to live like no one else now to live like no one else in 5 or 10 years, then what do you like? You don't really care that much. So that's something you can even look at and take and be like, hey, we got this whatever to pay off or pay down or savings to put in the bank. Like we're gonna take 2023 and we're gonna hammer down and hit this so hard that 2024 is gonna be 100%. Like we're not gonna have anything over our heads. I can go full time and then we'll live off your income or whatever it is for everybody's situation out there. But I think it's really good that Kylie, you have a full-time job. That's going to be really nice to at least help take the pressure off totally. Because it always intrigues me. And it kind of goes back to what I said at the beginning of the show was I have a lot of respect for guys that work full-time jobs and do this and go from full-time to full-time entrepreneurship because that's a scary jump. I don't know how I would handle it. I don't know how we would handle it. It would be very hard for you. I think we're in very similar situations here.
I don't know how well I'll do because, like you said, Jeremiah's never worked a clock in, clock out job. Ever since I've known him, this is what he's done.
In the history of ever.
And so I basically was like, well, good thing I'm working because, like, we're going to have at least a real, like, not that he wasn't bringing money, but, like, my personality, I need the security, the plan, the structure. And so that's why I was like, okay, well, you can do this, but I'm going to still work my job because I know that we'll have a paycheck coming in. And it's not to be like a lack of confidence because it's not that I didn't believe you could do it, but just my personality and fear was just so much that I was like, needed a little more stability.
But time proves everything.
Yeah,
and
sure.
You prove yourself in time. Joey, you'll prove yourself in entrepreneurship as year 2, year 3, year 4 comes along the same way that we have because now if you wanted to quit work tomorrow, then you could and you'd be okay with it. You would be like, yeah, like we're fine. Well, the business isn't going to go under if I'm not working. Like we're going to be able to survive.
Yeah, my SpaghettiOs and stuff, but we'll be fine.
We would be fine.
I know. I'm just being funny.
We'd be fine.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's just still just your type A or whatever you
it's
are.
Just the math.
That you want the schedule and the thing. But the point of the matter is it's built over time. You believe in what we have going now a lot more than you did 3 or 4 years ago.
100%.
Which is, I think, the same case that will be here. The end of 2023, you're going to say, oh, okay, well, now we're another year under our belt. And it's kind of just like, it's just earning trust. You're just proving yourself. You're really just being like, hey, I'm committed to this. Because if you're anything like me, Joey, then I'm somebody who like come up with new stuff all the time. I'm always like rambling through trying to think of stuff. And something will come up one day, and then it'll be out the door the next day. So it's like you have to prove yourself. You have to find something and stick to it. And so if this is it, if the business is it, then you'll prove yourself in time. And I think there's a lot of people out there. It's just a male thing. I think a lot of guys listening go through the same thing. A lot of relationships deal with this same thing. There's no way that just us 4 sitting here having this conversation are the only ones that deal with this. It's just not possible. Mm-hmm. So it's cool to see that we're not the only ones. It's cool to see that y'all aren't the only ones. Like it's real life for everybody out there. The people you all know, love, and trust on social media that everybody watches, it's all the same way for them. Even though a lot of them are further along in business, take them back to the stage of life we're in right now, and they had all these same conversations.
Yeah, still dealing with all the same stuff.
Still doing all the same stuff. So that's awesome, man. It's very exciting to see what's coming. It sounds like y'all have bright futures there in the business, and then transitioning out. So, Kylie, are you going to help in the business at all? Are you going to try to do scheduling? I know you mentioned scheduling earlier. Or are you going to try to stay in your field? What does that look like?
No, I'm not that type of person. I have to have some part in it. I wanted to do the bookkeeping and the scheduling. But again, the communication, if I don't know that there's something going on, then I can't schedule that.
Right.
So we've decided that we need to just take a weekend and just sit down and just business, basically.
Mm-hmm. I think so. With my thought of communication, I want to be respectful of her schedule, and I tend to push the scheduling to her because I'm like, okay, I got this job coming up. When is it best for you that I can do the job? Mm-hmm. And that gets pretty annoying, doesn't it? For the most part, because kind of forcing you to make a decision.
Yeah,
of
well,
when things
I'm
happen.
used to that.
Yeah.
So,
That's something we got. I have to work on. I'll take ownership of that.
Yeah. I think I would prefer the scheduling just because I don't trust you with it. No.
The truth comes out.
I feel like he's so forgetful. Like we could have a conversation about anything, and then 5 seconds later, he's like, "Hey, about this thing," and I was like, "We literally just had this conversation. Did you hear me at all?" So I really don't think I do trust you to schedule, just because I feel like you would skip something, you would miss it, people would be calling you like, "Where are you?"
Give me a week and I'll remember the whole conversation we had that day. For some reason, short-term memory loss is a real thing.
No, it sounds like that would be a good role, you'll learn as you move on. I mean, as you start doing it together more and more. Everybody, it's a learning curve for everybody. As you learn to work together. It's a different animal. Me and Savannah have not tackled that bridge yet. I don't know if we're going to.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's for us, but
I don't know.
It's for some people. Some people work in the same business together and they love it, but I don't know if that's the route we'll go. But anyways, guys, it's getting late. I don't want to hold y'all up. I want to be respectful of your time. Is there any words of advice you would give anybody maybe in your shoes or maybe trying to start a full-time business or just in that stage of life right there where you're married, you're young, you got a young kid on the way, just any words of advice or wisdom you could leave anybody with tonight of y'all's business journey so far?
Well, I'd hate to sound like a broken record, but that communication skill set is a key factor.
Yeah.
Communication and patience.
I would
be
also
very
say,
patient of each other.
Have some trust
Yes.
in your spouse that, they're not going to just run you right into the ground, and also experience experience what you can in your field. So you know what to look for later on in your business. That's my biggest thing right now is, I feel like you've had it easy.
Yeah.
And you haven't experienced any hardships yet. And that scares me. That once you get to a point where we're ready to go full time, that we're going to just hit all of those bad experiences. And, we're not going to know how to handle them because we haven't been down that road.
We haven't had that challenge just yet.
Yeah.
Like it's been spoken before, a lot of entrepreneurs, they fail multiple times before they get it right.
Yeah.
Which is really nice to hear that, like, people live real lives, that, nothing is perfect all the time. But
failures.
The biggest thing is failures doesn't have to be your business closes down. Failures can be, oh man, I paid this guy too much, or I paid too much in payroll this year. I need to fix that. Like that's a failure. So that's one thing that you can't get too caught up in that. Like, just because people fail doesn't mean just because they say they failed a lot doesn't mean their business is shut down. Now, has that happened for some people? Yes, it has, but that's not like an end all be all. You're just not saying, oh, your business is going to fail. You're going to fail 3 businesses before you get one right. Like, there's going to be aspects within your business that you may mess up at, but you learn and you grow along the way. We've had plenty of mess ups, plenty of hiccups along the way, and honestly, some of them you don't even remember. They're tough in the moment. You live through them for a month or two, and then you move on. I mean, it just is what it is, and so that is the journey. That's the risk of entrepreneurship. There's a huge reward at the end, but there is risk involved with it. So everyone's got to be on the same page there. Everyone has to agree, and I think it can be really, really great thing for everyone involved if you decide to take that journey. You just got to, like you said, communicate, be on the same page, make sure that you're both willing to take that journey on and that risk on, and then I think there'll be some really good stuff to come from it in the end. But is there anything else? Is that pretty good? That sounds like a good show, man. That was something that I've learned a lot from, is just having this interview here, knowing that I'm not the only one. We're not the only ones that are going through this. It's cool to hear other people out there, because we've had all these same conversations. Yep. All of these conversations we talked about, we've had them of the communication, the not communicating with her about when I'm going to be done or when schedule changes, things like that. So I think this has been a really value-packed show. Where can everybody find you on social media if they want to connect with you, maybe ask a question? Because, like I said, I know people are going through this stage of life, so hopefully there's somebody else out there that are right there with y'all. Then you can either give y'all some advice, or y'all could give them some advice as well moving forward.
Yeah, so I am on Facebook and Instagram at PriorityCare_JS right now.
Yeah.
And slowly working into the YouTube scene.
Awesome.
Haven't quite got into it yet, but that's kind of a few things that I'd like to do on this off season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely open to answering questions or just having a conversation. Somebody needs somebody to talk to. We've all been through some situations.
Any feedback that people.
Yeah, if anybody else has any feedback for situations we're going through that they've also had, I mean, we're open ears.
Yeah, no, that's what it's all about, is building a community like this where everyone can feed off of each other. Everybody can have a little say in it and just try to help each other grow, because that's what we're all trying to do. Is we're all trying to grow successful businesses. We're all trying to go successful lives, but we're all trying to go successful families along the way as well. And so you got to remember that's what most important. God, family, business, and that's something that Fullerton got on a rant the other day on one of his shows about. And it's you got to keep those things straight. You can't let your business run your life, because if that's the case, your family will suffer big time. And so that's different than your family, quote unquote, suffering a time in growing the business than letting your business run your life. But anyway, I think that is going to wrap this night up. It's late, man. It's 10:30. Everyone out there knows this is real life. This is what you got to do when you got kids. That's the real definition of what this is when you have kids. This is what you do. You just get it in when they sleep, and you just praise God they're still sleeping.
Yeah, we have a sick kid now, and he was wanting to lay on the couch with me earlier, and I was like, "Oh, I can't fall asleep right now. This would not be good."
Yeah.
Usually, I'm in bed by now because I cannot handle lack of sleep. I have to have as much as I can, or I am the worst the next day.
I hear you. Yeah, I'm heading straight there. So, well, guys, thank you so much for coming on tonight. It's been a real honor, a real treat to get to have this conversation. Hopefully somebody else out there learns from it. If you do learn from it, reach out to Joey and Kylie and let them know how they helped you tonight. If we can ever help you, reach out, shoot us a message, email, DM, whatever, and we'll try to help however we can. Leave us a big 5-star rating review for the show. That really helps grow us and boost us out there to reach a bigger community, so we can continue to grow the community one relationship at a time. But I think that's it. Savannah?
That's a mouthful.
We're signing off.
Yeah.
Are you going to do the outro?
You're putting me on the spot.
I did this one time, and she absolutely blew it. Where were we at when we did that?
No. I did the end.
That was on the way home from Auburn. Oh,
yeah,
that show
and
was,
I did it.
That show was bad. That show was really
Just
bad.
listened to that the other day. It was hilarious.
That show was bad. I feel sorry for you.
No, you were like a squirrel. You were like watching people on the interstate.
Yeah,
and I was like,
they were
hello?
rolling so much sod out. They laid like miles of sod.
Oh
I was
my
like,
gosh.
what?
I was like, Jeremiah, back in, rein it in.
It's a bad use of money. But anyway, we're gonna wrap this one up. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. Thank you for listening in. If we can help you, if we can ever help you, just please reach out and let us know. We need to end. Without any further ado, that's gonna wrap this one up. Look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next episode.